the Hurricanes have been on top all season long as they fought off every would-be challenger and contender for their top spot in the East. As the road to the postseason continues, so do the challenges that come with being the best in the East. This game tonight will define everything. Welcome to Hurricanes Digest. I'm Jeff Testanero. Before we continue, smash that subscribe button. Just got word. We just reached 100 subscribers on this channel in 2 weeks of being active. Big accomplishment. Thank you, Caniacs everywhere. The views are in the quadruple digits. Just need you to keep smashing that subscribe button. Let's push it upward and onward. All of you, even the ones that I made mad. Man, did I make some of you mad. Ooh-wee. Did I make some of you mad. Which is fine. You know, I always welcome a challenge. Just a chill challenge for you. Make sure you watch the video before you come at me and you call me a dummy, because a lot of you didn't have your facts correct, so you all look like dummies, and it's not a good look at all. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. I care about you. We're all in the same boat here. I never said Anderson was getting traded. The video was made way after the trade deadline anyway. So you're wrong there. Not a good look. If you want to challenge me, challenge me. Let's have a nice debate, but don't call me names and stuff. I don't like that. Speaking of challenges, boy, are the Canes up for a big one tonight. Heading into Montreal, Quebec. And the Bell Center. That was a really bad French-Canadian accent, and I apologize to all of our French-Canadian viewers. Ooh, Montreal, been one of the hottest teams in the league since, in last year's Four Nation, ever since the Four Nations last year. The Habs came out. They established themselves well. They established themselves well this season. Good for them. Looking to be a kind of pesky little challenge for the Canes. Possibly moving forward, possibly tonight, as Montreal tries to make up a little ground inside the Atlantic and kind of push off those surging Boston Bruins. God, the Bruins just never go away. Never go away. Third in the Atlantic, tied with the Bruins. Want to shake them off a bit. As you know, the Hurricanes are the best in the East. Number one in the Metro. All they have to do is maintain that 10-point deficit over the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they'll be good. There's only 13 games left to play. Just keep getting those 2 points, guys. Just keep getting those 2 points, and everything will be pretty. Of course, a big challenge for the Hurricanes is hanging out in the Atlantic. I'm talking about the Buffalo Sabres. Got to keep getting those 2 points to keep those Sabres at bay. Sabres are only 1 point behind Carolina for the top spot currently in the East. And that is scary because Buffalo, gritty, tough, and they don't take no for an answer. Don't take no for an answer. Don't forget Columbus, too. Columbus is sitting third there. They're going to cause some problems, too. This East is just really, really tight, and it's going to be really, really exciting coming down to the finish. However, tonight, let's not ignore tonight. Montreal, Carolina. Their first meetup of the season, Montreal took. The puck movement and puck containment for the Carolina Hurricanes was not that great against Montreal in the first game. Montreal, they took advantage. They took advantage, and they got the win. So let's hope tonight is a lot different. And what's going to make the difference? Who's going to make the difference is my question to you. My answer, and you might call me an idiot on this one, Mr. Seth Jarvis. 3 power play goals for the Hurricanes in their 5-1 win on Sunday versus the Penguins. Seth Jarvis led the charge, a goal, 2 assists. 4th 3-point game of the season for Seth Jarvis. Enters tonight's contest on a 3-game point streak. 1 goal, 5 assists. I'm really glad he got that goal. I'm really, really glad he got that goal the other night. Very happy for him. I know he wants to score goals. It's in his nature. He's the man. You know, he leads the team, 29 goals on the season, one shy of his third consecutive 30-goal campaign of his career. Only 5 players in franchise history pulled off 3 or more 30-goal seasons. So we got Aho breaking records and tying records for the franchise. Now we got Jarvie coming in and pulling off a great season. I know he wants to score. He's a goal scorer, but those 5 assists, and I always say it, assists are just as good, if not better, than goals. Yes! Fact. Because assists set up the goals. Don't be a selfish player. Seth Jarvis, not saying he's a selfish player. Just saying he will undoubtedly be fired up heading into Montreal tonight. And it's actually been a pretty good campaign for Jarvis against the Canadiens. February 26, 2023, 6-2 Hurricanes win. Jarvis scored his first career hat trick versus Montreal, 4th youngest in franchise history. He currently has the point streak, as we talked about, heating up. Seth's always producing. Seth's always driving the offense. And thank goodness for Seth Jarvis. He's definitely the player to watch tonight up in Montreal. You know, always fired up to play against, the Yankees of the NHL, the Montreal Canadiens, because they're the Montreal Canadiens no matter what they do. Possibly in net tonight would be Brandon Bussi, if you're going off, how Rod's been running the goalie situation lately, alternating games. If that's true, and if Coach Brind'Amour sticks with that philosophy, he will be starting Brandon Bussi tonight as Freddie Anderson started against Pittsburgh. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love that Rod's doing this. I love that Rod's keeping both goalies warm. I love that Rod's keeping both goalies in the game, thinking about the game instead of sitting over there on the bench or on the little stool they sit on with their little hat on. Because you never know what you're going to do in the playoffs. Maybe he'll do this in the playoffs. Yeah, I know Freddie has more wins since the Olympic break than Buss. But if Bussi can gain a little more confidence and gain a little more of his old game back, and Anderson keeps up what he's doing, winning, then who's to say that Rod can't start both goalies? I guess that's another episode for another time. We're not going to get back into the goalie debate. I believe we have debated the goalie debate to death enough. We all have. So the Bus, most likely starting tonight. Very, very important game, especially for the playoff standings. All the Hurricanes have to do, hang on tight. Don't stop believing. Get them 2 points in every game they can. I know they're not going to win every game going out. The odds are not in their favor. If they did, that'd be great. But get those 2 points. Hang tight to the top. Because playing W1 is a lot different than playing W2, especially since that slot for W2 is always flip-flopping. Detroit and Ottawa are still alive. Philly is still alive. Washington's still alive. Ovechkin just got his huge milestone goal. Nobody wants to see Ovi in the playoffs. I don't want to see Ovi in the playoffs. I'd rather have the Hurricanes play either tonight's Canadiens or the Boston Bruins or the New York Islanders than the Washington Capitals and Ovechkin. But that's me. If the season did finish today, the Hurricanes would play the Islanders. I would rather the Hurricanes play. Out of those 3 teams, I'd rather the Hurricanes play the Islanders than the Bruins, because now my history against Boston in the playoffs ain't too great. Boston's always tough. Boston's streaking right now. Everyone's streaking right now, especially the mid to the bottom of the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. It's tough. All these teams are going to be beat up. They're going to be going hard. They're going to be playing hard. And I would rather see the Hurricanes, and I'm sure the Hurricanes would rather see a beat-up team at W2 than a not-so-beat-up team at W1. But that's just my thinking. Odds are, whatever, these teams are going to be beating the crap out of each other. Hurricanes do have some tough games coming up to close out the season. Let's see here. They still have one against Montreal on the schedule. They have one against New Jersey on the schedule. 2 versus Columbus. I'll be at one of those. 1 versus Ottawa. 1 versus Boston. 1 versus Philly. And 2 versus the New York Islanders. They do have Chicago and Utah in there somewhere, but it's Western Conference is what it is. Down to the wire for all of these teams. Like I said, the ones fighting for these spots, the Atlantic 3, Metro 3, the wild cards, and the ones in the hunt, they're going to be coming out strong. They're going to be coming out hard. This is going to be huge tests for the Carolina Hurricanes. And tonight, this will start the swing. This will start the flow. This will determine everything. This will, hopefully set them up. Got to stay away from Buffalo. Buffalo is only 1 point behind them. Hang on tight, Hurricanes. Hang on tight, Hurricanes. So with that, for Hurricanes Digest, I'm Jeff Testanero. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 200. Let's do it. Goodbye, Caniacs.